How the heck are you, everybody? I am Fastidious. Let's get right into it. We have a fantastic banner this weekend, really a fabulous banner in Watcher of Realms from tomorrow until Sunday. Twyla and Hatssut, two of the better heroes in the entire game, two fantastic Nightmare Ladies, are on Raid Up. This video will feature a Should You Summon where I address Should You Summon, but TLDR, if you're missing either of these girls or you need awakenings, key awakenings for either, this is a must pull banner for almost everybody. Because of that, I am taking the opportunity to lead an important data-driven study. We got to find out, is Moonton lying? So two big things have changed recently in the game when it comes to your chances to get certain things, certain legendary heroes in Watcher of Realms. So one of those is, according to Moonton, according to the game right here, the rates among a certain rarity class have all been flattened. So when I say rarity class, I mean legendary lords, that's one class, legendaries, that's another, epic lords, that's another, epics, that's another, rare lords, that's another one, and then finally rares, and then I guess uncommons, but who cares? Basically, they're saying if they're in the same group, so Tordor through Leia, each one of those has an equal chance to be pulled. So if you hit Legendary Lord, there's a 1 in 8 chance it will be Tordor, King Hearts, Araka, Morrigan, Twin Fiend, Venoma, Iax, Leia, respectively, right? Moreover, when we have this huge pool of normal legendaries, this is probably the thing most important to people and most important this weekend. They are saying it's a perfectly even distribution. So you're just as likely, if there's no rate up, that you're going to hit on Constance as you are to hit on Hex, as you are to hit on Beelzebub or Fenris or Azariz or Orim or Alora or Sadie, blah, blah, blah. Perfectly even, right? They're saying here the drop rate will be 1 divided by n. So 1 out of n, the total number of members of this rarity class, times 0.46%. That is the rate when there's a non-2x. And yeah, I hope that's true. I believe that will be true, but let's not take their word for it. So let's gather that data. Moreover, the rate ups have been increased now from 15x to 20x. We need to find out, is that real? Does that actually drastically improve your chances to get one or both of the featured heroes? You know, is it just lip service or is this a major improvement? If the rates actually have been flattened, the 20x should prove to be really potent. So we want to test both of those things. Seamus and I have organized a study. I created this form here. I'll take you through it very, very quickly. After that, we'll go through Should You Summon for Twyla and Hatssut. But I want to say, before I break down this form, please don't summon if you weren't going to summon. But if you are summoning this weekend, fill out this form. We need all the data we can get. If I go over here, this is the sheet that will populate. I need hundreds of rows of data to find something statistically significant. If we can have a couple hundred players all fill out their form and we account for several hundred legendaries, if not 1,000 legendaries or more, which are pulled this weekend, we will have really strong data and we'll get a great picture that will help all of us in the future. You know, we could do this over multiple weekends, but it'd be great just to do an amazing, huge effort right now and just nail this thing. And we'll know pretty fast. The data will speak volumes. So what's going on? We've got our Legendary Drop Rates project, April 2025. I said Seamus is hungry for more data and cannot wait any longer. Moonton have posted in the summoning portal information, that's what I just showed you, that there is now apparently an even chance to pull any legendary hero. So among one rarity class, the buckets are now gone. So there's not like a Hatssut ultra rare bucket and an Arrogance Silas rare bucket and then a common Orim abomination bucket. No, those are gone. All the rates have been flattened. If they're in the same class, they now all have even chances. That's what Moonton is saying. Additionally, the rate up was just increased from 15x to 20x. This should be a lot stronger, right? Rather than taking the game's word for it, we'd like to test these claims for ourselves. So this weekend, we want all the data on which legendaries you pull. The sheet is really short. It's really easy. I'm going to take you through it now, but I also take you through it with all the text. Please, if you do pulls this weekend, fill out this sheet. Also, if you do pulls on Friday and you do more pulls on Sunday, just fill it out twice, right? Fill it out as if you're two different people. There's the Friday person and the Sunday person. That is completely fine. Seriously, it does not matter. So finally, let's find out if the rates have actually been flattened among rarities and if the 20x does actually drastically improve your chances to get a featured hero. So the featured heroes this weekend are Twyla and Hatssut. Then I wrote, please double check you're putting your summons in correctly and logging data appropriately. Project by Seamus and Fasti. So we've got the Twyla and Hatssut rare and divine summons. So we don't care what legendaries you're pulling on either of these banners. It just has to be these two banners. So the ones that have Twyla's face there, the special invocation of spirits, and the special divine summoning. If it says special, that means it is a 20x rate up banner. So please, we don't care about any legendaries you pull from the 2x banners. Those are not included in this study, these crazy banners, just the special banners. So combined, we want to know how many legendaries you pulled from the Invocation of Spirits and the Divine Summoning. So among those two banners, how many do you get combined? And then of that grand total, including all the dupes, how many were Twyla and how many were Hatssut? So let's go in now. Below, write the total number of legendary heroes which you pulled from the special Invocation of Spirits. That's the Rare and Diamonds banner, the one I just showed you. And then the special Divine Summoning. That's the Legendaries banner, the Legendary Crystals, I mean. And we want that combined number. So if you pulled 3 legendaries on the Invocation of Spirits, the one where you use your rare summoning crystals and your diamonds, and you pulled 4 legendaries on the special divine summoning, that's where you use your legendary summoning crystals, I want that number to be 7, okay? And then I just have a little bit of clarification here. Be sure to count dupes as well. For example, if you pulled 2 Hatssut, 3 Twyla, 1 Aurum, and 2 Kai, yes, you've only pulled 4 unique heroes, only 4 were like different kinds of heroes, but each dupe counts. So you actually pulled 8, right? 2 plus 3 plus 1, that's 6, plus 2, that is 8. So your answer will be 8. For reference, just so you know, these are the banners in question. And we want the combination, the combined numbers for everything, all your answers between the two. So the special Invocation of Spirits, these are your rare summoning crystals and your diamonds. That's the currency you use. And then the divine legendary summoning banner, the special divine summoning, these are your legendary summoning crystals, the gold ones, the orange ones. Now, the final 2 questions, it's easy. Of the total number of legendary heroes you pulled between these 2 rate-up banners, how many Hattsuts did you pull? So if you pulled those 8, how many were Hatssut? So in this example, right, we pulled 2 Hatssut, so you'd simply check 2, and there you go. If somehow you can see the multiple choice goes up to 5, if somehow you pull more than 5, click other and type it in. So you would click other and you would write 7 or whatever it is, right? Doesn't matter. Finally, of the total number of legendary heroes you pulled between these 2 rate-up banners, how many Twylas did you pull? Same thing. So in the example I listed over here, the number is 3. You put in 3, and there you go. It is that simple, guys. I know I'm being a little pedantic breaking this down in such detail, but it is important, all right? So pretty please, if you are going to pull, I'm not telling you to pull if you didn't want to pull. If you're on the fence about if you should pull or not, we're about to do a should you summon in like 20 seconds. But if you're going to pull, if you do end up pulling, please submit these sheets. We need the information. Fill out the form. And there you go. Like I said, it will populate here, and then me and Seamus will turn the data around really quickly. You may be thinking, didn't you do another study a month or 2 ago and we still haven't gotten the data? 2 hours after this video goes live, I will be sharing all the data from the Gear Aid 3 study. Finally, I know you guys have patiently waited. It is coming today, so get excited for that. There you have it, guys. Please help. Let's do the should you summon. Like I said, Twyla and Hatssut are on 20x rate up. Additionally, some pretty good epics here. Harpoon sucks, but we've got the new epic Faelin, who I'll have a guide out on hopefully tomorrow, but probably might be a few days. She looks fantastic. She's got the Ajax range. She has very reliable magic resurrection. She puts out good poisons. It's just there's a lot of good stuff here. If you can get her awakenings, she has a chance to be cycling her ult much faster. She's got slows, and then finally she can get extra stacks of poison on enemies. There's just a lot of really good stuff in this kit. And the magic resurrection is really good. So she's a very good epic. I'm excited to cover her. Vortex is obviously fantastic, but the ladies of the hour, we've got Twyla and we have got Hatssut. We'll go to my tier list in just a second so I can show you all the pieces of content. All you need to know, Hatssut is such a queen. She is still triple S on my site. 5 non-lords and 5 lords get the triple S designation, and absolutely she still has it. She's phenomenal in PvP, especially Guild Wars nowadays, and in PvE, she's like a cheat code. She's good in everything except for boss content, basically. That's it. And you might say, oh, but boss content, blah, 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 blah. She's going to allow you to do so much better in bosses because once you get her, you're maxing out your gear dungeon 2, you're getting all your gear raids done, and you're dominating PvP as well. So she's just completely phenomenal. And then speaking of boss content, we've got Twyla. Twyla's not bad outside of boss content, but she's not that good. She's quite good, I'd say, in single target arena, not very good in Guild Wars, not good in any of the other arenas. You can use her as you progress through Void Rift and campaign, but it's really bosses, right? Like Styx, she is phenomenal. And then, of course, Guild Boss 1, Abyss 1, Semra, she is incredible. She's actually, in my opinion, the single best DPS, or certainly best melee DPS that isn't a limited hero. And even including the limited heroes, so I'm talking Sun Wukong and Kagiri, if you don't have awakenings into them, Twyla is just as good. And actually, A1 Twyla is better than Sun Wukong and better than Kagiri until you get a ton of awakenings into those guys. Like, she is nuts. I love Twyla. I'm the proud owner of an A5 Twyla. She's one of my favorites in the game. She's having a skin coming out this weekend, which hopefully somehow I can get my hands on, because she's the coolest. Let's go here. Before I break them down, by the way, if you didn't know, when you go to my tier list, we're on fastidious.gg/tier-list. You can look at multiple heroes at once. Just do the hero name, comma, the next hero name. So there's Hatssut and Twyla. You may have noticed I have not updated the tier list in a while, probably about 2 months. That's because the tier list is getting a humongous makeover. So my plan is for this to be happening about a week from when this video comes out. On Saturday night, I'm leaving for New York, and I'll be there until Wednesday night. But after that, that's kind of going to be my top priority. Essentially, I want to recalibrate what each letter means. I'm pretty liberal giving out A pluses and S's and S pluses, and I think I want to redefine how I approach that. And I'm going to go class by class, re-ranking all the legendaries and epics. It's going to be a huge project. If you guys have suggestions for how you want me to approach it, let me know. But what I'm thinking for now is I'll stream it on Twitch, and then I'll probably just post those whole Twitch VODs, maybe with very light editing, on YouTube the next day. That's what I'm thinking now. However, this is still pretty dang accurate for what this stuff looks like, in my opinion. So let's zoom out and let's look at all of it. You can see I give Twyla an S+. She probably, with the way I'm going to approach the new tier list, she won't get an S+, because I think the S+ will be, maybe she'll get exactly an S+. I don't know. It's going to be hard with the overalls to do how to specifically highlight heroes that are really good in something, and like they're really specific, like she's really good against bosses, against guild bosses. But regardless, she's phenomenal. Hatssut will maintain her triple S almost certainly. Let's go through it. So you can see, like, where does Twyla shine? I should say she's quite good in AMR. She can just nuke those bosses, especially through 18. She's phenomenal. Good for your general progression stuff. But where is she so amazing? It's really here, right? We're going to add, when we do the update, a new column for Abyss 1. We're going to treat that as a different thing than like Guild Boss 1, Nightmare 4, and lower. But she's good at all of it. She really is. She's on my Abyss 1 team. She's on my Guild Boss 1 team. She's on my Guild Boss 2 team. If you don't have an A3 Kagiri, A3 Wukong, you have an A1 Twyla, she's the best thing you will have. Even A0, she's just phenomenal. She's another level. Someone like Lust needs A5 to compete with Twyla. So, I mean, that's pretty dang special for a normal hero. She's just phenomenal against bosses, and she's fantastic in single target arena. That's a really good view of what she's like. For Hatssut, it's like everything but bosses. Is she usable? Early on, sure. With the recalibration of the ratings, she will not have an A here anymore. I'm going to be a lot stricter with that kind of stuff. But functionally, she definitely works. She's good in a couple things. Like if we go over here, like Styx, she's functional. Like she has a place. But it really is just, she's so good. These will be touched up a little bit, but she's so good in Arena, and she's amazing in Guild Wars. This is another thing that will get changed. We added a new column that I haven't updated yet. There's Guild Wars BP and Guild Wars Defense. BP is just how good is your BP. All the numbers you see for BP right now are the defense numbers, and she is still that good on defense. Maybe she's an S, not an S+, but she's phenomenal, and she's just the hardest carry. She's so good. Aside from boss content, she is the queen of the game. Nothing's really changed, especially not counting Lords. She's phenomenal. So should you summon? If you're missing either of these two, I think 98% of you should summon. So who could be missing one and not summon? If you don't have Hatssut, you should summon. I don't think there's anything more to it. I don't care if you have A5 Twyla. If you don't have Hatssut, at least give it 1 or 2 pulls and hope that you get her. And if you pulled an A6 Twyla, sell her. I think everyone that doesn't have Hatssut should be summoning. I don't care that Arrogance and Malric are coming up. Those guys are not Hatssut. Arrogance is close. We'll see exactly how good Malric is. But Hatssut's, you need one Hatssut on your account, in my opinion. I think she's that unique. I think she is that powerful. She's pretty wild. If you have Hatssut and you don't have Twyla, that's maybe that 2% that could skip. if you don't have Twyla, but you have like an A3 Kagiri or Wukong, and then maybe you have an Arrogance or a Valeria or something, you've got some good, boss killing nightmare fighters or just fighters in general, good melee units. You could consider skipping her. I think she's special enough that you should definitely go for her. But, if you had an A3 Kagiri and an A3 Wukong, or an A3 Wukong and an A0 Kagiri you're working on building to A3, probably you would graduate from her. Or even if you still could make good use of her, it would be overkill. Because of her limited range, you probably wouldn't be running a Kagiri, a Wukong, and a Twyla in Abyss 1. I use Twyla because I don't have Kagiri and Wukong at A3 or higher. But, if you had the two, she probably would work her way out. But for any other situation, I do think you should go for her. The bond she gives Hex is like, okay, it's kind of lame. The bond Hex gives her is pretty nuts. You have to run them in battles together, but there's tons of opportunities for that, whether that be in Semra or Abyss, which is awesome, and then certainly Guild Boss 1. She is top tier. So this banner is just really appealing. Obviously, if you have both, I think it's a pretty sensible skip. The only big awakening that these two have, Hatssut's A5 is cool. Hatssut's A2 is cool. They're not game breaking. And it's not like a lot of people are just going to jump in here and get an A5 Hatssut. There is one huge awakening, and that is Twyla's A1. This really does take her to another level. So if you don't know, when you do the deranged blade damage, right, it's 20% 12 times when she triggers it. And during the ultimate, it's 20% 18 times. There's an additional 6 instances of damage. The damage from this, which is her key damage mechanic, increases 50%, from 20% a hit to 30% a hit. That is huge if you just get her A1. That's pretty nuts. Yes, her A3 is fun with an extra 5 seconds. Her A5 is basically useless outside of single target arena, and even then, you usually don't need it. Maybe it's a bit more useful now with the new maps. Everything else, attack penetration is standard. So A3 is good, but the A1, man, it only takes one awakening, so one dupe. So if you have a Twyla, it's still probably a nice thought to go for that A1 because this really cracks her open. Twyla A1 is better than Kagiri and Sun Wukong until they're A3. And for a lot of people, it'll take a while to get both of those guys A3. I think that's, it's worth a shot. So if you have like an A0 Twyla and an A1 Hatssut, I'd say definitely go for it. If you really have an A0 Twyla and anything but an A5 Hatssut, I would go for it. I'll tell you, I am skipping this banner. I have A5 Twyla and A2 Hatssut. So the only relevant awakening for me left among those two is A5 Hatssut, which obviously I can't imagine is coming soon. So this will be a skip for me. But I think I'm in that very narrow percentage of people that should be skipping it. If you have an A1 Twyla and an A1 Hatssut, yeah, I'd skip it. If you had an A1 Twyla and A0 Hatssut, I'd probably skip it. But anyone else, basically, I would really consider it. I think it's the best banner we know about right now. I think this is better than the Arrogance Malric banner for the vast majority of players. And that's why I'm choosing this banner, not the next banner, to do our study. So please, guys, this form will be shared on this video, and then I'll share it again tomorrow. Definitely check it out. Finally, we will have a polls party for this. If you want details, you can find them on my Discord. Otherwise, you'll find the polls party sign up linked on this video and in the top pinned comment. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. We're going to do a lot of polls. So I hope to see you there. Feel free to sign up. It's pretty damn simple and it's pretty damn fun. There you go, guys. Should you summon? Vast majority of you, yes. And if you summon, should you fill out the form? Fuck yes. Thank you for watching. I've been Fastidious. If you like my stuff, subscribe to the channel, share with your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.